before we go any further, I'd like to say thank you very much for James in Time Flies in the Shop. Yeah, he searched out the patent of the Hawkeye spanner for us. So, and I've just found it. I'm a bit late. I'm not very good at picking up emails. Not very good at all. So he reminded me, he said, Reggie, I've sent you an email, so I've searched it, and thank you very much, James, for finding that patent number and that patent drawing for us and sending it along. It's lovely knowing and finding the dates of these things. It's fantastic. And James has a fantastic channel. Picks up stuff from markets and goes to steam fairs. A bit like me, really. Just whatever's in front of him, he films it and he puts it on. What a fantastic mix of films that James does. Sometimes restoring, sometimes fixing. He spends lots of times enjoying himself with the buggies and the kids in the garden. Yeah, so well worth having a look and watching James at Time Flies in the Shop. But thank you very much, James. Thank you very much for finding that patent out for us and actually finding the date, isn't it? Wow, that was even more filthy than my usual acceptance of level of filth that goes on in here. It's always handy to get a mat. You can always pick the whole thing up and shake the whole thing out and put it back down again. Yeah, they are dangerous. They are a fire hazard, especially when you're welding and stuff. But they do make the place warmer and easier, it's nicer to stand on. This, if you can ever lay your hands on this sponge stuff, it's amazing. Makes a difference. So what's your, especially in the winter, what's your, I guess a wooden deck, but again, that could catch fire. So what's your opinion of mats on the floor in front of the bench? I'm not going to show you the bench. I'm ashamed of myself. That plastic stuff. Wow, that plastic stuff was filthy. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that level of crud that's all over everything. I'm going to have to take it all off and wipe it. But anyway, this area's clear. All that's ready to go in the bin. This area's clear. We can make a beginning, can't we? So, we'd like her opinion. I suggested to Debbie that we should pick these up. You know, the ones we've put a lot of time and effort into and painted, well, Debbie has, and made them look nice. Should we pick them up and put them in the greenhouse for the winter? Would that save them deterioration through the winter? We've got a few months now of frost and ice. And yeah, they do brighten up the garden, especially in the summer. They're great. And would they brighten up the garden in the winter? Or should we put them out of the way? Because, you know, the weather does deteriorate them. So what shall we do? What would you do? Would you pick them up, put them in the greenhouse for a few months? What's your opinion? So, we're quite lucky. There's a hole there, there's a hole there. This has got a hole in it. We can soon bring that hole through, make another hole here, bolt that together there. You can tidy up the end there, cut that flat, put a little angle on the corner, make it tidy. I don't know if that's strong enough to be an inch actually. No, we might cut that, put our own plate across the end, turn them into a 3, and then make our other own hinge underneath. Yeah, like we've done with these. Look, this has got this comes across underneath that, so this fits on this that we've made underneath. Yeah, I think we'll do that, and then we'll figure out a hinge. So We want something that will thread through there, don't we? Yeah, 10mm I guess. It's got to be twice as long. I wonder if that might do. It's probably a bolt on the one end of it. Yeah, let's have a look. Let's have a look. What have we seen? Oh, that might do it. Definitely long enough. Let's see where that is. That is in C2, right? C2, A, B, C, C2, yeah. Wasn't that. C2, there we are, okay. C2. Let's have a look inside. C2. I should stop using this seat as a bench because I'll break it again like we did the last one. Hold on. Right. Will that fit in there? Not quite. It's a different thread. Yeah. It's a finer, smaller thread. Won't it? Ooh. It might. No. We've got that as an option anyway, haven't we? So, liven at the seam. Definitely put that back where you found it. Liven at the seam. Liven at the seam. Let's have a look. Where were we? We were there, weren't we? Okay, keep going down. Slightly smaller, thinner thread type thing. Well, it's not there, is it? We've tried that. Not quite right. Okay, come back here. Double check. If that won't fit, this won't fit. Yeah. So I've got an idea. Ooh, I wonder. Probably much the same metric. Let's try it. That's in B6. B6. So A, B, B6. Okay. B6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. B6. Here we are. B6. Let's give this a try. I think it's probably much the same as the other. Oh no, this, look at that. That fits. Can you see how handy this is now? How quickly you can find stuff with this shelving system. I'm really pleased with it. Otherwise, you'd be having to go. And I know there's nothing wrong with doing that. It's so pleasurable just going along, watching and looking at all the jars. But it just saves it. So look, we've got what we want now. We'll find some nuts for them later. So let's quickly punch a hole in the back of that, just for convenience. Just small one first, and a bigger one. So for now, come on. Do you see why I snap blades all the time? Snap drills all the time. Anyway, I'll take that out. We'll make a slightly bigger one that side. So we just want to enlarge the face of the hole here. Any drill will do. We got there, that'll do. So we need a nut for it. So we just come along here. We can use them nuts, or we can use those nuts, or we can find some other nuts. They're easy enough to find. So we'll bolt this together now and treat it as a one whenever we're working on it. So the great thing about having your own little shed, your own little man cave, your own little workshop, whatever I decide to do will be my decision. Won't be a foreman or a boss telling me, right, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. Well, boss, I might do it another way. No, you do it my way. You can do it and do exactly what you want, how you want, and how you do it. And you don't have to please anybody else but yourself. So it doesn't have to be up to a customer standards. It doesn't have to be, you know, really good and perfect and really nice looking. If you want to paint it, paint it. If you want to make it look nice, make it look nice. But when you get something, a little job like this, this will be a complete, unique Reggie thing. So this could also be a unique your thing. And that's part of the joy. That's part of the enjoyment, you know, of tinkering and messing in the garage, in the workshop. So how does your vice get battle scars like that? Well, because there's idiots around that holds the thing there and cuts the thing there and thinks, it's a bit slow going through there. Well, the reason was because it had gone through there, it was cutting through the vice. Edgy, you idiot. So it's nicely trimmed up now. So something on the end make it strong. I'm guessing piece of bed iron, you know, angle iron off a bed. Do that and then think about, we've got to make this swing now, haven't we? And what are we going to mount it on? So basically, how do we weld them all together? I've decided I want to be a little bit artistic. Is that the word? How about doing that on the end? Welding them on the end. A bit longer, a bit shorter. Maybe that? Yeah, that might do, wouldn't it? Yeah, let's have a look. A2, A, don't fall over. A2 we want, A2, one of these. Right in front of our mush. A2. Let's have a look. Yeah. If I weld that across there, find a nut for it, weld that across there, it'll do what we want it to do. It'll just cap off the end nicely and it might make it look nice. In a Reggie sort of way. So let's go and find a nut for that now then. So we found a nut, but they're a bit thin, aren't they? They're not really... No. I know you're going to burn them and weld them and you won't probably recognise them. No, we need a wider nut. So we found a nut for it. It was hiding on these little ones. If I can, I always put nuts and bolts together. But sometimes it don't work that way. So what we need to do now is cut some sort of a V in there, don't we? Some sort of a V shape so that we can sit this in there and possibly crush it all together and then tack it up. Just tack it up. Does that look better than just a piece of metal? Am I being artistic? So we've got to cut ourselves some sort of a V shape in there so this sort of sinks in there a little bit and we can crush it all together and then tack it on then. We've made ourselves a bit of a groove in there. We'll put this in there, we'll tap that in place and squeeze up tight. We'll put a bit of a weld here and there. Mainly we don't want to burn this, so what we'll do is we'll weld onto we'll start here and we'll just touch that without burning a hole in it. Both sides, mess with it, grind it, fill it, do whatever we do with it. Find a way and just bang that in there. That might look nice, mightn't it? I'm ready. That's in there. I'm using the El Cheapo welder, 30 quid out of the car boot ones, you know. I've got my helmet ready. I've got my gloves ready. The only problem I've got that turned down right low, so I ain't going to burn no holes in that thin stuff. But I've got to use these really old welding rods that Noah gave me when he was welding the ark together. These have been here for years and years and years. They're the smallest, thinnest welding rods I've got, but they're well shot, been in that tin for years. So let's see how we get on. Yeah. As always, most importantly, especially here, get your fire extinguisher close by. So if you do need it, you've got it right by your hand, ready to go. And don't do the same mistake that I did and put the wrong fire extinguisher close to me. And when I did have a little bit of a fire, look, the damn thing didn't work. So at least make sure you've got a fire extinguisher that's working. So when you're making it at home, this stuff is mighty thin, and I've got it turned down right low. But it's stuck, isn't it? It's just like electrical glue. You can clean that up on the wire brush, clean that up on the grind desk, grind what sits off. You can see that in some places it's stuck somewhere. So by the time we've cleaned that, maybe painted it with a big thick black paint, you wouldn't really know, would you? No, because the more you try and chase after it, the more the hole you burn. Yeah, see, I've gone at that a second time. It's almost made it worse than the first time. Yeah. So it won't take as long to pretty that up. But anyway, so let's keep them together. It's bolted together there. Now we've got to do the hinge. How are we going to make this here now then?